Welcome back, everyone. Today we're talking all about the Indiana Pacers back on the road in Madison Square Garden to take on the Knicks. It's game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. We'll dive into my best bets in just one moment, but as always, to recap how we did yesterday and in that Timberwolves and Thunder game, we swept the board. We want to know. We'll certainly take that. Anthony Edwards got it done. I was scared he would end on the hook, and that might have made me crash out as he had 36 at the end of the third, and they were down 20. But the bench unit did their jobs, and Ant-Man easily sealed the deal in the fourth quarter. We take that. Let's try to do that all over again today. We also cashed day 3 of the ladder challenge. I got over that day 3 hump. Honestly, if it weren't for a Karl Anthony Towns rebound and a Jamal Murray point, this could be day 10, which shows that we're pretty dialed in the association. Yesterday, a little sweaty with Jalen Williams, 28 and a half points, but he ended up with 26. Not too sweaty. Of course, it got sweaty toward the end, but we'll take that. Day 4 posted in a little bit. Let's dive into things. My last note, you guys know we love Chalkboard. A reminder, you can sign up for Chalkboard. You'll get this free square. You'll also get a match on your first deposit, dollar for dollar, up to $100. So you go in there, you're like, I only want to deposit $10. Boom, they hit you with another $10. You deposit 25. Now you got another 25, 50, another 50, 100. Another $100 again. Sign up. You get this Halliburton free pick. Here are all the states that Chalkboard is available in. Again, use that code COS or the link at the top of the description. Let's dive into this game, though. Before I get into my favorite pick, I want to talk about this game as a whole. I don't honestly love it. I think these lines are pretty sharp, and this is honestly one of the hardest games I've had to pick. And I'm a Knicks fan, so normally Knicks games, I have a pretty good idea of what's going down. And I think this is a big Brunson game, but at 29 and a half, I don't love his lines. And when I think about these two teams coming into this game, it's game 2 is going to be tough. There are going to be adjustments that are going to be made from game 1. The issue is I don't really know how to predict the adjustments. So that's why I'm really curious what you guys like. So if you have a favorite pick, drop it down below in the comments. If you want to say why, sure, go for that as well. But I just look at this game as the Knicks side. They come into this game. Obviously, we blew game 1. We're coming in here. Do we want to change much of our game plan from game 1? Or do we think if we just close better, we should have easily won? Let's not change a ton. On the Pacers side, sure, they came out with a victory, but do they want to be down 10 points in the final minute? I don't think so. So it's going to be a little bit curious to see what adjustments are made in this game. Still confident we can cook up a winner, and my favorite pick will be talked about in 1 second. But man, this is an interesting game. Let's dive into my favorite pick, though. That's Josh Hart's under. Hate to have an under. 12 and a half points is my favorite pick. It's going to be my only pick. I don't even have a Dub Club exclusive play because, like I said, this game is really tricky in my eyes. I'm still confident I'll cook up a ladder challenge that wins, so stay tuned for that. And that'll include some overs in there, so I can sweat out some overs in that. But I don't like Josh Hart's matchup. I know we were on his over in points and rebounds in game 1, and he ended on the hook. I just don't see a lot of value in the points here for Josh Hart. I mean, sure, you could look at his regular season numbers against the Pacers, see some really good performances with a lot of field goal attempts, but that wasn't really how they defended him in game 1. In fact, if you go to that game and you look at game 1, who was his defender? I thought it might be like Miles Turner or Halliburton. That wasn't who it was. It was Andrew Nembhard or Obi Toppin off the bench. And those are two guys that really he's not going to score consistently against, two pretty good defenders. So again, when you look at Josh Hart and you've seen his success this postseason, well, he did it against the Pistons because they had Jalen Duren, a center on him, and he did it against Celtics because they had either Kristaps, if he was out there, or Luke Cornett, or big man on him. So Josh Hart was able to attack that person in transition and attack them in the half court because he was left wide open. That's not really the case here from the Pacers. They have the Nembhard, they have Obi Toppin on him, and kind of saw that as a result. Only 6 field goal attempts in game 1, one of those coming in overtime. And so I just don't see a lot of value and a lot of upside for Josh Hart. Is he capable of getting 13 points? Yeah, he's an NBA player. He's done it before, but I don't see this as a high upside play for Josh Hart. I just don't think this is a great, unless they change their defensive game plan where maybe Miles Turner finds his way onto Josh Hart, then we're probably not in a great spot, but still Josh Hart. We had a lot of the Knicks had a lot of success with the Mitchell Robinson and Cat lineup being in there at the same time. That was the lineup that grew the lead at the start of the fourth. Deuce McBride's a great shooter, which I could use that, especially because Josh Hart's not really known for being a great shooter and really hasn't. He's a decent defender, but did have a lapse of judgment, and that's kind of what led to the Pacers getting the lead in the final minutes of the overtime. So I'll fade him. One of his primary ways of scoring is in transition, where the Pacers have ranked second best transition defense in the playoffs. So again, I think if he goes over this, he either 1, gets hot from deep, which I'll live with that, or 2, he just gets lucky scoring in transition off some turnovers and stuff like that, which the Pacers have been pretty good at limiting those. So again, I like Josh Hart's under. Hate to have an under as my only play, but that would be my favorite play in this game. Again, let me know your favorite picks down below because this is a really tricky game, in my opinion, in betting it. As for my favorite spread lean, This is, like I said, this is a tough game to predict. I would lean the Pacers plus 6.5. Am I going to put any of my own money on it? Probably not. As a Knicks fan, I don't want to root for the Pacers plus 6.5, but I just think everyone's going to run back the Knicks. And the line was 4.5. It's now ballooned up to 6.5. Those are some key numbers in there. You want to get 5 and 6, two of the most common margins of victory in the NBA. I would lean the Pacers. I just think this is a team that's really good. The Knicks overestimated them and couldn't close in that final game and in the final minutes. And that's what the Pacers do. They come back. So you can never count out Pacers plus 6.5 unless maybe they're down 30. But even if it's 20 points, the team finds a way. They're doing it, and they have tons of guys contributing. So it's not like they're relying on one guy to do everything. It's multiple different guys, which is hard to stop if you're defense and a Tom Thibodeau trying to come into this game. I still think it's Halliburton that probably is the biggest game out of all of them, but I would lean the Pacers plus 6.5 if I had to bet a spread. Really hoping it's cake because I want the Knicks to win, and hopefully it's by convincing fashion. As a Knicks fan, I still think 6.5 is a lot of points to give the Pacers, who've been playing arguably some of the best basketball in the NBA playoffs so far. Finally, we'll get into my wife's POD. Yesterday, she had Nas Reed's over. He ended on the hook. That was tough. You could have taken his PRAs. That cashed. Tough one for her. Today, I honestly hate the one she picked. I just give her my phone and say, hey, go with whatever you want. And I normally set her up on the PRAs tab because she doesn't really know a whole lot. She's going Miles Turner. I don't know why she decided on Miles Turner's over in PRAs. I don't hate it from the standpoint of he's really one of the only Pacers. He had a great first quarter, did nothing after that. Maybe he gets going here. I don't honestly love it, but this is Trina's. She said if this doesn't hit, she's retiring. That's crazy behavior. So let's hope Miles Turner can come through for her. Again, you can tailor fade it. Just my wife. Normally we do her picks in the conference finals and the finals and see how she does. And historically, she's had a good track record. Is it all beginner's luck? Probably more likely than that. But my only official pick in this one would be Josh Hart's over or under in points. I don't mind overs and rebounds, maybe assists, but under in points is probably a pretty solid angle for me. As I said, we'll probably have day 4 of the ladder challenge live in a little bit. Again, if you want to sign up for Chalkboard, I would appreciate it. You use code COS. They'll match your first deposit up to $100. It's free money, double in your money. And also they give you this Halliburton free pick for him to score 1 point. Again, here are all the states that Underdog or Chalkboard is available in. So if it's in your state, why not sign up? It's free money and a free square. Sounds pretty good to me. But again, yeah, only going to stick to Josh Hart's under here. Not even a Dub Club exclusive play, no long shots or anything like that. I looked at Brunson's over in points, but I think that's probably a pretty sharp line. But he'll probably find his way in the ladder for like 21.5 points. In terms of the other ones, it's going to be interesting what I cook up. I really don't know. We'll cook up a ladder that I like. We don't have as many games left in the season, so we got to get out there and we got to climb. But today's gonna be an interesting ladder. We'll see what it is, and once it is live, I'll try to link it on the screen, the YouTube short. But either way, let's try to go 1-0 today with Josh Hart. Let's try to cash the ladder, and then we'll move on. Right? Is the game? Do we have a game tomorrow? I haven't looked at the NBA schedule. I assume it's a Saturday. There's no way they have the day off. Yeah, tomorrow we will have that OKC and Timberwolves game 3. Do we have any days off? Doesn't look like it. Looking at the schedule, there's really no days off for these teams. They're pretty much playing every other day. So hey, we like that for us. Either way, Josh Hart, go under, and I'll see you guys back again in the next one. It's Austin signing out. See you tomorrow. Peace. Have a great day, and go check out the MLB video. Do it. Do it.